High up in the North Mountains, the crew trundled through the brazen snowstorm. Between magic, fur, and furs, the crew was ready to brave the cold. The crew crept across the ledges of path left behind, keeping up with their muscular, inhuman captain. All except the first mate. Reckerman peered into the crevice before him and saw a lone wooden stand, almost like a child would build. He stepped into the dim light, out of the wind, and towards this broken-down stand. The owner parted the dark curtain behind it and stepped forward. A little old human woman, gray hair down to her hips, a squat, hunched stature, and rather large glasses. "Hey, bro, welcome," she said in a very deep, gruff voice. She reached under the table and pulled out a book nearly as thick as she was tall and began rummaging through the pages. "Who are you?" Ruckerman quietly asked. "Who knows? I heard you were looking to buy."
I love cider season.
"I see you brought a big keg here. It's a cider."
Just got a whole case of it.
"Okay.
I love cider.
Do you sell it at your bar too?"
Hard and not.
"Oh, okay. You didn't bring anyone with you this week?"
Nope. Been dealing kinda with some of the fallout from last week.
Yeah, Teddy not being around is bad for business, and he may or may not even be back.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to that a little bit later.
Okay.
It just kinda... It's not causing problems, but as much as it doesn't seem like it, Teddy fixes a lot of problems. And if he's not here, things don't get fixed quite as easily.
Right.
So you guys talk to plants too?
Hi.
Hello? No, we're talking to each other. Do you talk to plants?
Well, yeah, I'm out here in the woods.
All right, well...
Hold on one second.
I guess we got a guess now. I'm Sam.
I'm Recorder.
And this is Recorder and Sam. What's washed up in Inundatia? Short of, your name?
Flipstern Hillflaw at your service.
That is most certainly a name.
That's my name.
Do you happen to go by Flip?
Yeah, you can call me Flip.
All right.
That's what the plants call me, anyways.
Yeah, so you talk to plants and they
Mostly,
talk back?
mostly birds, actually.
Birds and plants? Do they
As
talk
of lately.
back?
Yeah, birds talk, of course, all the time. Have you seen a bird?
Yeah, we've seen a few birds around here.
Yeah, I punched a wall-eyed derp.
You what?
Yeah, it keeps squawking during our recording, and it needed to understand that. I can't talk to birds, but most species understand violence.
I knew that I saw a walleye derp fly from this direction a few months ago, and so that was you. I was talking to it, and it said that it had a damaged face, damaged beak.
If it was a few months ago, it wasn't me. If it was about a week ago, maybe 2? No, if you'd said like 2 weeks ago, that's about how often I'm out here, and that's super duper.
That's about how often you punch walleye derps, is every 2 weeks?
That was the last time I punched a bird. Wait.
The last time?
Yeah, definitely the last time.
The most latest time that you punched a bird?
Yeah.
And here I thought that you were just another pair of nature lovers out here.
I mean, I love nature. I haven't punched a bird recently.
You know that a walleye derp can't see directly in front of it. It's wall-eyed so that it sees the sides and everything behind it. But when you go straight up and punch it right in the face, it's completely defenseless.
To be fair, I did not go straight up. There were branches in the way. I had to spiral that tree for a little bit. I'm not saying that gave it a better view, but it definitely was not straight to the bird.
So what are you two out here doing? Are you waiting for another careless bird to fly by and lay a roost in that tree just so you can punch it?
That bird, I'm mostly certain, is spiteful before I punched it. I might have made things worse now that I'm saying this out loud, especially if it can talk to people, but...
Yeah, I didn't think that part through.
That might be some damage control I have to go handle. No, we're recording a podcast. We're kind of doing...
A podcast?
If he hasn't listened to anything, I guess that's out of context for him. Yeah, just... All right, just speak. Keep doing what you're doing. You're in the right spot. This is all working out pretty well. We are reporting the news to the people. Would you like to sit in and hear about what's going on in Lattice? Are you from Lattice?
I'm from the woods. I mean, I'm mostly these days with the commune of Obad Hai. That's about, I'd say, almost a day's walk down there.
Oh, so you're a druid.
No, I have friends who are druids, but I mean, I'd say I'm more of a cleric.
Okay, so you actively worship Obad Hai then?
Yeah, nature and its bounty.
But you're not you actively worship him. You don't pay respects to him like the druids do. You actively seek to gain his favor.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Because Obad Hai I know what you're going to say. I know you're going to be one of those people who say, well, why don't you worship Ehlonna then? Well, Obad Hai, I don't want to get into the whole aspect of, swinging one way to another, but I would say that Obad Hai is actually more of the true nature god.
No. I get that, and I'll agree with you on that. But why are you a cleric?
Because I want to devote myself to nature and birds right now. I really like birds, and I feel like that's my best way to show my devotion is to following in the path of Obad Hai.
Why don't you like the fact that he's a cleric of Obad Hai?
Yeah, thank you. See, this person, this non-wall-eyed dirt-punching person over here, really gets it.
Because druids
And he's a warforged.
Druids get to do so much cooler stuff.
So?
Yeah, wait, cooler stuff? What does that mean?
Can you turn into animals?
No, I talk to them.
Do they talk back?
I said yes, birds have their own language.
Okay. Do you speak common to birds who chirp back at you?
Sometimes, yes.
Can you effortlessly walk through thick underbrush for miles at a time?
No, everybody has to deal with brush in their way.
Yeah, druids don't. The plants politely get out of the way for them.
Our friend Azuria actually, last time she was here, she came through a tree to greet us.
Another thing druids can do. She's not a druid, though. Oh, she might be. I don't know. She's a dryad. She can do that on her own, though.
I've never seen my druid friends turn into animals in front of me, but I've seen them kind of disappear, and then suddenly there were birds. Wait, have I been talking to druids this whole time? Birds are real, right? Wait, no, yes, of course they're real.
I'm pretty sure birds are real.
No, I know they're real. There's the wall-eyed derp. There's the majestic wood. There's phoenixes, of course, but that's a different subclassification of birds, you could say.
I mean, I'm pretty sure owls exist. I know falcons are real. I'm pretty sure there's a story about an albatross somewhere. Seagulls are terrible.
That's true, especially dire seagulls. Ugh, they can be a nuisance, I will admit.
Dire seagulls. That's something I'd like to check out.
Nope, I want that to not exist. I want that stricken from the world.
There's great eagles, of course, and then there's my personal favorite. My personal favorite bird is the rock.
The rock?
Yeah, I love rocks.
But are rocks magical?
We're still talking about birds, right?
Yeah, now we're talking about rocks.
Magic rocks?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, if they're magic or not.
Like made of stone?
No, then it wouldn't be a bird. No, I'm mixing it up. Giant eagles are... I'm mixing it up. Giant eagles are the magical ones. Rocks are just birds.
Just birds? Have you seen a rock?
Okay, it's a really big bird.
Does being magical not classify it as a bird anymore?
Well, it's the difference between being an animal and a magical animal. Different rules apply.
But it's still a bird.
I guess.
Does it have wings? Does it fly? Does it have a beak? Does it have talons?
I think dragons be mad at this.
Is a dragon a bird?
Do dragons have beaks?
I'm pretty sure some dragons have beaks. I think bronze dragons have beaks.
I've never seen one myself.
Are they birds?
No, dragons aren't birds.
Are birds dragons? Birds might not be real. Are birds dragons?
Dragons can be birds, but birds aren't dragons. Point is, rocks are really big birds.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they're just regular old birds. And I guess he likes rocks.
Yeah, it's a bird that's the size of a dragon. I mean...
Yeah, they're really, really big birds.
Do they weaponize rocks?
Yeah, they're trainable.
Huh, I'm surprised I didn't see any.
Well, sometimes you might be looking up overhead and seeing a rock flying overhead, but it's actually really, really far away.
Okay, so...
If it were to swoop down and snatch you up, then you'd know pretty soon that it's gonna be a problem for you.
And sometimes you see a rock overhead and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's a boulder that was flung from a catapult.
So we are talking about rocks.
In that one instance, rocks are actually birds. That second rock I mentioned is just a rock.
We're talking about birds.
So rocks are birds and birds are dragons?
Rocks are birds and birds are birds.
So rocks are dragons?
Okay, rock is spelled R-O-C.
That doesn't help if you're illiterate.
Wait, are you illiterate?
No, I'm just saying. The people who are listening might be.
But we're not trying to explain that to them currently. We're trying to explain this to you. R-O-C-K is a rock that you know of.
Yes.
That's like what you pick up off the ground.
Yes.
R-O-C is a really big bird that's probably going to pick you up off the ground.
Correct.
Fair.
Yes, that's a good way of classifying that, I would say.
I just wanted to make sure we were talking about ROC versus ROCK.
We're talking about ROC birds.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're squared away again.
I think I've lost track of a lot of this. Flip, are you good if we go to the news real quick?
Oh, so your conversation right now is going out to the town of Lattice? Like, everybody can hear it?
Yeah. Almost everybody who wants to listen can hear us. Anybody who's listening, like, at this exact moment, I guess, could hear us. But for the most part, I don't think anybody does, and we have a chance to edit it and make it sound a little better, because I think sometimes we wind up talking about things no one really needs to hear.
We ramble a bit.
We wind up talking about my junk as opposed to your junk.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that didn't sound like an objection to me, so let's quickly get through some of this, I can't say Teddy, because Teddy is not the one who sent me out here. I'm just so used to saying it at this point. I really need to know what happened to him.
It seemed to be him.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll talk about that later.
That's not the first thing on this list. This actually comes from Town Hall. It's from Miss Hopskip.
Mm-hmm.
First thing on the list is, in downtown, one specific building is having a problem, and we need to get it figured out.
What is the problem?
The door doesn't go inside the building.
I think it just opens from the other way?
No, the door opens, it super duper opens out. That's fine. The problem is the doorway leads somewhere else. There's a portal in it now.
Okay. All right.
So instead of going into the building, you go somewhere else.
Somewhere else in Lattice or somewhere else in the world?
That's a good question. We haven't seen those people again.
Oh, what about people who are in the building? Can they get out?
I imagine there's windows. But having the front entrance lead to potentially a different plane of existence?
Yeah.
Probably not the best thing. So we're looking for anybody who's willing to help with that.
How would you even... I guess you could detect magic.
I think the first step is to have someone, or have a group of people who know what they're doing, go through it and find out where they are. Because if they know how to get back from wherever they wind up, it's not a big problem.
What if they get transported to the elemental plane of fire? It's just fire. How are you gonna...
But that's what I'm saying. So they would take a wizard with them who would be able to, before they were burned alive completely, to cast some kind of fire shield.
Okay, they would need a very skilled wizard. Someone who's able to adapt to any situation in a moment's notice.
They just need one who's prepared.
But we don't know what it is. How can you be prepared for something you don't know what it is?
It can only go so many places. Or rather, we only know of so many places it can go that would kill you immediately.
I guess that's
so if you
fair to say.
So if you plan for those eventualities, like if it leads to the 9 hells or the elemental plane of fire, the problem's roughly the same. It's going to be hot and full of fire.
Right.
So being able to be resistant to fire fixes both of those problems.
Okay.
And I suppose worst case scenario, if someone particularly skilled has the ability to open up a different planar gateway immediately, they can go in there, find out it's someplace terrible, and immediately come back.
Okay, that's a better plan.
There are options to quickly wander through and figure it out, but we need someone to come forward who actually has those skills.
Okay.
That is a very specialized or an incredibly broadly studied wizard.
Right. Okay. Do we have any clues? Was this can't be natural if it's in the exact frame of a door?
It seems like it was put there, but who knows? Maybe something just was defunct somewhere else in the world, and this is a side effect. This might be one of a bunch of them. Maybe there's more. This just happens to be the one we know about.
Right.
Point is, we need people to help us help us inspect this. There's an inherent risk to it, but I believe Susan is now handling most of these plans. So, go see her. Next up is we kind of have some more info about John Smith.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm sorry if I'm interjecting here, but I feel like if you're giving important news to an entire nation, perhaps you should be telling people about the illicit logging activities in these here woods.
We have dealt with that.
We have actually addressed that. And if you'd like some more information about that, we actually have some. Can we come back to that later? Do you want that right now?
Okay. I guess I'm willing to hear a bit more about what's in the works for that, because let me tell you, I've had it with that.
Well, currently as it stands, the permits are all filed. Everything is going through. The correct people are just listening to it.
There's been a lot of illicit lumber trade going on in these here parts for many months.
Yes.
But it should have stopped. Do you have different information on that? There shouldn't have been anything in the past couple of weeks or so. Yeah, the permits have all been set up. They're going out to who they need to go to. We are currently finishing, I believe a crew is on its way out soon to move that, I don't want to call it a machine. It's really kind of MUSHEEN machine.
Yeah, it's kind of a mismatch of parts that can cut a tree down, not very well, but I broke that. So that is not operational, and the crew that was manning it have been moved, and their tools have been moved. I should probably give those back at some
You
point.
see,
I'll take it back with me
This
today.
is why I feel like I get along with you really well. What's your name again?
My name's Recorder.
And who's this colleague of yours who...
This is Sam. He's a local businessman in the city of Lattice.
You punch a bird one time this month, and then suddenly every ornithologist gets on your case.
I think it's the this month part that he's getting hung up on.
It wasn't this week. It wasn't today.
You almost imply that you do this regularly, is what I'm saying.
Look, many animals are much more aware than we give them credit for.
Yes. Well, I mean, I try to give them credit for that.
Have you seen some of the sly dealings horses do?
No, not too many horses come by these parts, no.
So you really do like live in the woods, huh? We'll get to that
Yeah.
later. Point is, with the logging that's going on, we've got that handled. The mine's getting set up. Someone's going to be coming to get that the logging device out of here very soon. And hopefully, the follow-up to that is we will be regrowing some of the forest.
Yes,
I see. Well, thank you, Recorder.
No problem. We have our friend Azoria, who's going to be helping us rebuild the area that was so devastatingly damaged around here, and we're going to get that back up into ship shape.
Speaking of that, do you know Azuria? She mentioned she was friends with a lot of druids. You're a cleric, though. Do you know Azuria? She's a dryad, lives within a couple of miles of here. We don't really know specifically.
I think I've seen her around the commune. I mean, with the dryads and druids, often rub elbows, and I'm often about the shrine where there's druids that gather, and often the dryads come by as well. And I think I've seen her around.
Have any of your?
I don't know her by name though. Like I don't think we're not like friends. But I think I've heard something like that name come across.
Have you had any of your commune people go missing?
Well, I haven't been there in about a week.
Well, if you come back and one or two guys are missing,
No, she mentioned the difference between a pet and a friend, and she said the druids were her friends.
okay, that is fair. She
Right.
did say that.
So I don't think he's too subject to that, because he certainly doesn't seem to be a pet.
Right.
Anyway, back to John Smith.
Mm-hmm.
The Church of Oladamara had a conference of sorts.
Okay.
People were allowed in as they explained their doings, because we kind of made this a bit bigger than it had to be for them, and they wanted to come clean about it. I actually have a recording I did just to make sure that we can get it expressly clear that it's not coming out of my mouth, that they were talking about this. This is not just me saying this.
Okay, good. Let's play it then.
346 bottles of ale in the duck, 346 bottles of ale. Take one off the wall, then drink it all. I own the bar, so I don't give a fuck. 348 bottles of ale in the duck, 344 bottles of ale. Take one sip, forget how to count. Not enough bottles of ale in the duck. 1,176 bottles of ale in the duck. No, wait, it's just 53. Counting is hard, and I'm not a bard, and I'm singing about how I'm gonna go pee.
I absolutely grabbed the wrong piece. That was me at, I'm going to go with, at
Wow.
that number, probably about 2 in the morning.
What was that for? What were we trying to do there?
This was when I was trying to figure out if this would work or not.
Oh, this was the first
This is
test.
one of the first couple of things.
Okay.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging. I just was curious as to how that came about.
I was absolutely plastered at this point.
I can tell.
I will have that. Not this. I will have the actual audio as soon as I can figure out which one it is. Clearly, I need a better organizational system. We will hear from the Church of Oladamara very soon. Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy is absolutely still missing.
Are we 100% sure that what we talked to last time was from Teddy?
I am not sure anymore.
You said you were able to physically interact with him the night before, though.
I think something happened between him being returned and whatever illusion was speaking with us. By the way, Flip, do you want any cider?
Yeah, I guess I could go. This isn't poisoned or anything, is it?
Do you want me to drink some first?
I feel like your constitution would be much higher than mine, so I don't know if that would really make a difference.
It probably means less if Recorder drinks some first.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
No,
bottoms up.
it's cider. I love cider. Bottoms up.
He hasn't poisoned anybody yet, is all I can say.
That's a pretty good cider.
I mean, technically I poison everybody.
All right.
What?
I mean, just about alcohol. I own a bar. I sell alcohol. Alcohol is basically a poison. No, it's good. It's good cider. This isn't even alcoholic. This is just smushed up apples.
Okay. I think I understand what you're trying to get at, but that's not really a great thing to tell somebody that you just served food.
I'm taking a cheap shot at my own profession. Anyway, yeah. If anybody out there who can hear me knows anything about Teddy, I would very much like any information about this. This is me trying to hunt him down. I need to know what happened to my friend. I know the town needs to know what happened to its mayor, but personally, I want to know what happened to my friend.
It's just, I don't even know what could have happened. I don't know if it's somebody trying to play a trick on the city. I don't know if it's Teddy trying to reach out. I don't know if he doesn't want to be found. I don't know what's going on.
Again, I refuse to believe that illusion was from him.
What makes you say that, though?
The way everything went down in the end. It started off so smoothly, but it felt so wrong by the time it was over.
You know, I do have to admit to that. He was very hostile towards me, and Teddy isn't like that the few times we've met.
He seemed more interested in how you work and what you could do.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, we've talked to Teddy before, and he treated me like a person, not like something to modify.
I think you might have taken some of it a little too personally, because even listening
He wanted to turn me into a fondue pot. I'm not a fan of that.
Politicians are all the same, really.
You're either cheese or chocolate to them. But no, I do agree. He seemed a bit more insistent about what you are versus who you are.
Right.
So I very much want to find out who's impersonating my friend and punch him in the face.
You tend to really go straight to that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
The face is a good place to punch to get a point across.
What was the point you were trying to get across to that bird?
Shut up.
Have you tried talking to it?
That's fair. I didn't. I don't speak bird.
Well, apparently, according to you, neither do I, but...
I didn't... I implied that. I don't know if you speak bird or not.
Well, maybe we should put it to the test.
We could. I don't have a bird. I could check my pile, but I don't think there's any birds in there.
I feel like there's birds tweeting all around us.
Yeah,
at
there's
all
birds
times.
everywhere here, but...
Before we get too deep into this, just wanted to... I think I forgot to say this, so I want to say it now. Quick thanks to Jade, Mark, and Nick for helping me get into that conference to record from the Priest of Voldemort.
Were you not supposed to be there?
Probably not. I want to say everyone's allowed, but I was probably not supposed to be recording it anyway.
I mean, how often does that actually happen?
Yeah, exactly. They'll come up with a law about it sooner or later, and they don't have one for now. So again, big thank you to them. Now, can you summon birds? I know a druid can summon a bird.
I can put some grain and seeds down on the ground, and then yes, the birds come.
Okay, so I guess if we're gonna get to that point, you should do that. I guess summon a bird.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just
throw your seed on this table.
Yeah, scatter some of the seeds. Any second now.
All right. Oh shit, he's right. Look,
Wow.
there's a
Hi.
crow.
Yeah. See, I summon birds. See.
Is that summoning birds? I feel like that's
Hang on.
that's baiting birds.
Give me some. Can I summon birds?
Okay. You know what? I think I'd be more comfortable with handing it to Recorder here. Here you go, Recorder.
Thank you. All right.
All right, maybe it's a skill. I'll give you that.
See.
Okay, now talk to it. Ask it how its day is. No,
I mean,
I don't want
feel
to.
kind of.
I don't want to hear you ask how its day was. I want you to tell me how its day was. I want to see a conversation between you and this crow.
Okay,
You wanna
well,
get its name?
I feel like you're kind of antagonizing the crow right now. I can already tell.
All right, look, I'll go over and I'll sit on Recorder's junk, and I'll let you do this over here.
All right. Well, just give me some space. I mean, Recorder, I'm fine with you. I mean,
Yeah,
if you
thank
wanna
you.
come
Thank
over.
you.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'll stay here.
Is he just screaming at the bird? How was the bird's day?
I'm just hearing him caw and the bird sometimes responding. Do you hear words?
Well, the bird says that he's feeling pleased because he's eating some of these seeds right now.
I think you could just imply that.
It's what the bird's saying to me. Isn't that right, bird? Caw, caw. Caw. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wouldn't it be easier if you could just turn into a crow?
Again, with this turning into crows and turning
That's
into...
what druids do. I I know
But he's not a druid. He's a cleric.
But that's what I'm saying. Why isn't he a druid? If he wants to talk to birds and he wants to talk to plants and he wants to do like impressive things in the woods, why would you actively follow a path that makes you less good at that?
Does everybody always have to conform to the mainstream way of conversing with birds?
Thank you, Recorder. See, he's the... I feel like Recorder here is the only person that's actually in my corner right now. I mean, I guess I could try and find out if we want to really be... I'm afraid of saying the word, but scientific over this. Because in the end, I mean, I could just give it a try and then end up proving you're wrong that, my method is clearly... But
it just seems more efficient. Like, that way you could... Because I know druids have animal companions. You could actually, like, truly befriend an animal and it would stay by your side. You could be able to turn into other birds, a multiple of birds. You could be as eagly as you possibly could.
I could really be eagly?
You could be the most eagly you absolutely anybody ever could.
Well... Okay, so let's suppose that I decide to be more of a druid and hone my craft to being able to turn myself into a bird. Would that give me the same kind of bird anatomy? Like, internally?
Yeah, I think. I've never wild-shaped. I don't know.
Would I know how a bird feels?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I've been polymorphed, but I've never actually wild-shaped.
But it wouldn't be just the way that I feel. It would be the way that a bird feels, even though I'm that bird.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if I understand it, it's kind of like your mind in the bird's body, so you'd absolutely understand how that bird feels.
But would
Really?
it be birds aren't
So I'd be able to really empathize with birds by knowing how a bird feels.
But he wouldn't be controlled by that bird animal instinct. He would still have his sentient thoughts in the body of a bird. I don't think that would be the...
That's some of the difference between wild shape and polymorph, though.
That's not the quintessential bird experience.
But with wild shape, you maintain that connection to the creature.
Okay.
There's an innate naturalness to it.
So you'd be able to, like, view how the bird is processing things rather than feeling it yourself?
I think you need to be a little less specific. I think I just want to pluck one word out of that. I think you'd be able to understand how birds feel about it. Not the bird he becomes specifically.
Okay.
It's not like he's picking this crow that's still sitting and eating the seeds off this table and becoming this crow. He's going to be his own special bird flip. I don't want to see a bird do a flip.
I just
Can you ask this crow to do a
love
flip?
birds, man. I mean, if that would help me understand birds, then I mean, I could potentially see some benefits. But I feel like I'd want to kind of try this out myself and see if which method is best. I think. One second. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so sorry, he just wanted some more seed, but. I told him that I have a limited amount, so he should take it easy on the seeds before he starts getting used to it and start bothering people and it's the whole thing. But
yeah, like I could go ask a wizard to turn you into a bird, but you'd still just be you in the shape of a bird. That is a terrible image. I don't like that at all. I'm going to say that again.
That's terrible.
It would be your mind in a bird's body, whereas the druid's way is... It's absolutely along the lines with what you're trying to do, at least as far as I understand it. It's a means of communing with nature by becoming a better part of it.
And I am a cleric of Obad Hai, and so I'm starting to see why there's so many more druids over there in that commune than clerics.
Are you the only cleric of Obad Hai?
Yeah.
It's not bad to be unique.
Well, that I've seen. I mean, I know that there's more that exist that are out there.
Okay.
But, I mean, as far as the commune that I tend to frequent, you could say.
I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot different that could be happening. That you could be getting so much more from your experience, literally walking in a different set of feet, I suppose.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to use that phrase, and birds don't wear shoes, at least. I guess you would know. Do birds wear shoes?
Not typically, no.
Okay.
I mean, some city birds. Like there's the Lattician Ratbird sometimes.
Ratbird. I haven't heard anybody say that in a long time. You mean a pigeon?
I mean, no. I think I mean the flightless bird that's native to Lattice, known as the Lattician Ratbird.
What does this bird look like?
Well, I mean, by the name should say it all, really.
Yeah, I'm picturing a small rodent with wings.
It's flightless, so I mean the wings are actually quite small. They're almost completely indiscernible. And its feathers are actually a different. Its plumage is actually quite interesting. It's of a different kind of shape than it's normal for feathers. Completely. I mean, they're actually very thin feathers. They're very soft to the touch.
Okay.
Are you talking about cats?
No. In fact, cats actually are a known predator with that prey upon Lattician ratbirds.
Is a Lattician ratbird just a rat?
I've never seen the two together, but that doesn't mean that rats don't exist. I know that Lattician ratbirds exist. I mean,
I think you need to do some cityscaping, my friend. I think you need to go into the city and experience some of it.
yeah. I mean the last time I was over there was when I heard that there was a phoenix sighting, but I didn't really stick around too long. I prefer to be out here in the woods.
I think that was the better part of a couple of months ago at this point.
Yeah. Did you hear about the phoenix from us?
No, but there was some people who were passing by who mentioned it when I talked to them about if there's any interesting birds nearby, and they said that they heard somewhere that there's a
Okay.
And that's an interesting bird.
That is a very interesting bird.
Yeah, they're a little uncommon.
So did you actually go into the city when you heard about that?
They're like the outskirts. I kind of took these lenses and try to see if I could spot it flying overhead, and I did as it was exiting the city.
I really think you need to go spend a bit more time in the city and try to figure out where you stand on some of this stuff. Because I'm pretty sure a ratbird's just a bird.
It sounds like he's just describing a
Nope.
regular rat.
That's what I meant. Oh, I came out here half cocked. Okay. I'm just going to drink some cider, see if I can't get this out of my system.
So, I mean, didn't you have some more news you were trying to talk about? What is going on in the city?
No, that about sums most of it up.
At least the stuff that's most pressing that we have to talk about.
That you have to talk about.
Yeah, we're doing this as a favor to my friend Teddy.
Oh.
So I tend to get news from Town Hall, things that they're actively seeking help with.
Your friend Teddy, who you said might be imaginary.
No, Teddy's not imaginary. The last Teddy that was out here, super duper, was imaginary.
Yeah. Yeah. We've met Teddy. How many times has Teddy been on?
Technically just once.
Because the second time was an illusion.
That was definitely not him,
Yeah.
so...
I've met Teddy before, and he's definitely a real person.
Okay, I mean, I'm just surprised that a politician would have come all this way out into the woods.
I don't think he had much choice in the matter. Pretty much when Sam wants somebody to come out here, they end up out here.
So, all right, let me get this straight.
It was
So-
not a kidnapping.
So Sam here is a nature-punching, kidnapping poisonaire who comes out here. Why do you associate with this gentleman over here?
I talk to Sam because he's one of the only people that I get to talk to regularly, and he tends to bring people out here with him. He found me in this, and we kind of put two and two together, and now we're doing this favor for Teddy.
No, I take offense to that. I mean, when you want to use all the wrong words...
But they're not wrong words, though.
They're absolutely the wrong words. You can use much better words.
I really feel for you, Recorder. That's all I want to say right now.
Like, you could call a convict a swayed innocent.
You could call a convict a swayed innocent. Yeah, you're right.
That's not what it is, though.
But if you could call it that, then it is. This is a favor, right?
Well, technically, alcohol is a kind of poison. It's not... You wouldn't call me a poisoner.
I've never heard it said that way, but I don't
The way
see
you
why
were describing
not.
it earlier, you said that you
It's much
basically
more like a drug
poison
deal.
all of your patrons.
It's much more like a drug deal.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Wow.
I'm much more okay with a drug dealer than I am a poisoner. One of those sounds like they actively kill people. The other one gives them a good time.
You sound like a pirate.
No, we had a pirate who is also a different kind of drug dealer. He deals in solid drugs, I deal in liquid drugs.
You associate with pirates as well.
Ex-pirates.
He wasn't an ex-pirate the first time we talked to him.
He is now, though, and
He is now.
And at least I still associate with him.
Mm-hmm.
I also associate with. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to incriminate somebody by saying that.
I mean, we do talk to Hound Archons from time to time, or one, Bartel in particular.
And he was content with how good I am.
That is true. I do have to give that to Sam's defense. We did have a Hound Archon, and he sensed no malice in Sam.
I don't know about that.
But we did have a good argument about how someone's good or bad alignment can shift moment to moment, so that's all subjective.
Well,
anyway.
what if there's neutrality involved? I mean, Obad Hai is a neutral god, and what if they try to detect, chaos or evil, but someone's actually more
He
neutral?
might be a neutral god, but nature is inherently good.
Nature is inherently neutral, I would say.
I never really thought about those spells in that fashion. There's detect good and detect evil, but what if you're neither? Detect good pings with a yes if you're good, but nothing else. What if I use detect good and then detect evil and nothing happened? Just because you didn't register as good doesn't mean you're evil. That's a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think detect neutrality exists.
Yeah, we can slip by.
I'd never really considered that until just now. It's an interesting.
Would you really consider nature as neutral, though? Without
Absolutely.
nature, life can't survive. Without nature, there would be no life.
Well, again, I'm an Obad Hai cleric, not Ehlonna. There's a difference.
I wouldn't know.
I mean, Ehlonna's more of the good end, I guess. More.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit different. We're trying more to try to preserve the neutrality of nature.
Okay.
But yes, I mean, there's often the bards speak about nature and how it's the one thing that kind of evens everything out.
I mean, it creates as much as it destroys.
Correct.
Okay.
Very balanced.
I guess you're right. I can see your point on that. It might help sustain life, but, given enough time, it could overtake where life once was, too.
Correct.
And I mean, it does kind of just murder itself indiscriminately in the meantime.
Yeah.
Predation exists.
Plants?
Predators?
No, like prey,
Prey
predator. No, not prey as in like...
I thought you meant
Putting your
like
hands
trees
together
killing
and talking
trees.
No, like bears killing anything small and cute.
Yeah, okay, that I get. Like salmon? Are salmon cute?
I wouldn't call salmon cute.
That's subjective. I mean, cuteness in itself is subjective.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Azuri disagreed with that about me, so
Yeah, you're not letting that go either.
it hurt a little bit.
I mean, she didn't say anything about me either.
Has she ever seen a Warforged before?
Well, it sounds like she's seen a lot of me, so...
Yeah, but that's... Can you call one thing in and of itself beautiful if there's nothing to compare it to?
Is there beauty in singularity?
Ooh.
I would argue yes. If there's nothing else of the kind, then yeah. It would be a shame to see it go. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, we'll try this then. Is that keg big?
Is this a riddle?
Is that keg of cider big?
Can you drink all of it in one go?
Can I pee at the same time?
No.
Yes.
I would argue that is big.
Okay. Is it big compared to the tree we're sitting under?
No, but compare it to another keg.
Compared to the mug I'm drinking out of?
It's a mug, not a keg.
Compared to the woods?
Those are two different things.
That's what you're saying. If there's only one of it, it can't be... You can't compare it to something of its kind if there's only one of it.
But its kind is only one. And that's a beautiful thought. It's only
yes.
here for a certain amount of time.
Like there may be one woods in this instance, or you could say there's one in Audacia. But within that entity, it's multifaceted with nature. You could say in the woods, which is one entity, there's multiple types of trees, and there's flora and fauna, and of all their different varieties. But even if you were to go to one tree, there's diversity in just that tree. There's the different leaves, texture of bark.
So is not everything unique in its own right?
Yes, everything is unique.
So everything is beautiful and Azuria is wrong. I'm handsome.
Beautiful and attractive are two different things.
I think I am too hung up on this. Did that bird just pay you?
I mean, there was an exchange of goods, so to speak. Yes.
Wow.
Okay,
See, that's what happens when you're kind to nature, Sam.
All right, that's fair. I've never been paid by a bird before.
Probably because you're out there punching them in the face.
Once, recently.
Yeah.
Also, I apologize. You absolutely can speak to birds.
That, I was going to say, that absolutely 100% solidifies the fact that, yeah, you're conducting business with animals as well.
I mean, it's not necessarily a business. It's a little bit of an understanding between two different species.
But that's a conversation, though. You absolutely were speaking to that bird. I am 100% in your corner
yes,
now.
yes, thank you. But yes, again, you should be a little bit more kinder to birds before I sick a ranger on you from the commune.
No, I'm absolutely going to be nicer to most birds.
Okay.
Including that walleye derp?
No.
Well, excuse me. Maybe you should turn into a bird and then see how it feels when you get punched in the face.
Have you not heard him?
I know the call of a walleye derp, of course.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can be nicer to that one specific bird. He keeps... I don't even know if it's a boy or not. It keeps coming back to taunt us. So until it leaves us alone, it's on my shit list.
Well, okay, maybe... So I'm going to go and try out this druid thing. And maybe when I come back, I can talk to it in its own native tongue, as you're saying. And then maybe something will be different.
I think first thing we got to do is get you to the city so you can remember what it's like to be in a city. Because I want to show you the difference between a cleric and a druid. And we can go to the All Church in the city, and I can show you truly what being a cleric looks like. Because I'm pretty sure you might actually
I mean, I always
be a
thought of
druid.
the city druids to be just land shapers, really.
And some of them are, but we're talking about clerics in the city right now. Look, just come with me. We'll get this figured out. You can make your own life choices after that.
I'd rather go with Recorder.
Recorder, I'll see you next week. Let's go.
Bye, Recorder.
Bye, Flip. Sam was played by Tucker Avery. Recorder was played by Kenny Boucher. Flipstern Hillflaw was played by Nicholas Cirillo. Recorder and Sam logo was created by Alana Heyman. Music was created by Dominic Rudinsky. If you want to ask the show a question, leave a comment or send an email to recorderandsam@gmail.com.
Recorder and Sam now has our own Discord server where you can feel free to socialize with other people who listen, and just as well, we have our own little room where you can go ahead and leave questions at the bar.
We'll see you in the next episode.